Welcome everyone to AI Sports Predictor, the place where data meets danger, and the book never sleeps. Tonight, we got a SWAC showdown that ain't just about rankings or records. This is survival. Alcorn State, Florida A&M, two teams, same conference, same dream. But only one leaves this game with their pride intact. Alcorn State's been rolling. 4 straight wins. Just handled Bethune-Cookman, never trailed, walked out with a 78-74 dub. And Jalek Gaines Wyatt, 24 points, 4 steals. The kid's got ice in his veins. But let's not get sentimental. This offense, 64.6 points per game. That's bottom 15 in the country. Shooting 39.9% from the field. That's not basketball, that's a crime scene. You don't win games when you can't put the ball in the basket. Then you got Florida A&M, won 8 of their last 9. Just put Jackson State in a stranglehold, ran a 21-4 blitz, and never looked back. Sterling Young, 28 points, off the bench. Bench guys aren't supposed to do that. That's a weapon hiding in plain sight. They score more, shoot better, and drain threes at a 35.3% clip while Alcorn's still figuring out which side of the rim to hit. And oh yeah, they already beat Alcorn once this season, 65-64, in Alcorn's own house. Now, they're home, 7-2 in their own building. And the crowd, they ain't here to watch a game. They're here to bury a team. But let's play devil's advocate. Alcorn, the 1st of June 17 against the spread. They cover, they grind, they make you sweat. And Florida A&M, 16-5 ATS. Almost identical. The kind of stat that makes you hesitate. But here's where the mirage fades. Alcorn is 3-15 on the road. 3 wins, 15 losses. And you're gonna trust M now? That's like betting on a plane with one wing, hoping it lands smoothly. And today's AI pick is Florida A&M Rattlers on the moneyline at -122. And just like that, the lights go out on Alcorn's streak. You wanted to believe in the underdog, didn't you? That maybe, just maybe, they'd pull another one out. That's how they get you. That's how the book keeps you chasing ghosts. But belief don't pay, winning does. Florida A&M is hotter. They're deeper. They score more, they shoot better. And Alcorn, their time just ran out. So go ahead, make your bet. Roll with AI. Or roll the dice and see what happens. On to game 2.
Tonight, we turn our sights to the John Paul Jones Arena, where the Virginia Cavaliers welcome the Duke Blue Devils. And let me tell you, this one isn't about who wins, it's about how badly Duke makes them suffer. Duke rolls in at 21-3, fresh off a 78-57 thrashing of California. This team doesn't just win, they dictate. They control the pace, they impose their will. And they turn games into clinics. Cooper Flagg? 27 points, 8 of 14 shooting, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. The kid's a machine. And this Duke offense, 80 points a night, nearly 48% from the field, and 37.4% from deep. Efficient. Ruthless. A team that puts you away early and never lets you breathe. And then there's Virginia. Sitting at 12-12. Average. In every sense of the word. They got a respectable 75-61 win over Georgia Tech last time out, and Isaac McNeely dropped a nice 20-piece. But here's the problem, Virginia doesn't scare anybody. They score just 64 points per game. That's barely enough to keep up with Duke for a half. And while their defense is solid, 25th in the nation at 64.7 points allowed per game, it won't matter when Duke starts raining threes and getting to the line at 77% efficiency. Now, if you're looking for an argument for Virginia, it's this. They're at home. And sure, they shoot a respectable 44.7% from the field and force 9.5 turnovers per game. But does anyone here really think they've got the firepower to keep up with Duke for 40 minutes? They shoot fewer threes. They rebound less, and they do not have the athletes to dictate the tempo. And if you can't control Duke's tempo, you're already dead. And today's AI pick is Duke Blue Devils, 14.5. Big number? Sure. But justified? Absolutely. Duke holds opponents to 60.4 points a night, the 5th best defense in the country. They smother you, outwork you, and eventually break you. Virginia's offense isn't built to handle that kind of sustained pressure. They will wear down. They will get outclassed, and by the time the final buzzer sounds, Duke will have covered this number comfortably. So now, you've got a choice. Follow the AI, or convince yourself that Virginia is something they're not. But remember, this game was over before it even tipped off. On to Game 3.
Two teams, same record, same fight, but not the same outcome. Kansas State walks in after getting out a 7-3 70 win over Arizona. It wasn't pretty, but it was a win. Doug McDaniel led the charge, dropping 24 points while shooting 45.5% from the field. But let's talk about this stat zone for 19 from 3. That's not just bad, that's catastrophic. And yet they survived it. Forced 17 turnovers. Swiped 14 steals. That tells me one thing: that his team doesn't need to shoot the lights out to win. They just outwork you. Now Utah. The Utes are coming in off an 8-5 7-5 loss to Cincinnati, and here's the problem: they let Cincy shoot 49.2% from the field and 50% from deep. That's called no resistance. And if you're allowing those numbers, you're asking for trouble. Gabe Madsen did his part, putting up 28 points, but one player can't mask the fact that this defense has holes. Let's break it down. Kansas State puts up 7 to 3.8 points a game. Utah, 7 to 5.4, nearly identical. Field goal percentage, 4 to 5.7% for Kansas State, 4 to 5.9% for Utah. Rebounding, 33.8 versus 38.9, close. Too close. So where's the edge? Defense. Kansas State forces more turnovers, 12.7 per game to Utah's 11.1. They allow fewer points per game, 70.1 to Utah's 70.8. They commit fewer fouls, 15.5 per game compared to Utah's 18.5. That last part, huge. Because Utah shoots 62% from the free throw line, an absolute liability when the game is on the line. And today's ad pick is Kansas State money line at 128. This game will be won in the final 5 minutes. Utah is streaky, and if their shooting dips, they don't have the defense or the free throw efficiency to survive. Kansas State. They don't need streaks. They need pressure. They need turnovers. And they will get them. So what's it going to be? Trust AI, or trust a Utah team that folds when it matters? On to Game 4.
Arizona walks in after a 73-70 loss to Kansas State, a game they could have won if they didn't shoot 2 for 22 from 3. That's not just bad luck, that's a collapse. And yet, they still had a shot because they play fast, aggressive, and relentless basketball, 82.3 points per game, 47.4% from the field, and they crash the boards hard. Pulling down 40.9 rebounds per contest. They can score, they can push tempo, but when the shots don't fall, they become beatable. Baylor's story, a 76-65 loss to Houston. A different kind of letdown. They actually shot well, 57.9% from the field, 60% from 3, but still lost. Why? Because they couldn't stop Houston from shooting 50.9% in return. That's the issue. Baylor's defense is inconsistent, and when they're not forcing turnovers, they get exposed. Norchadomia was a bright spot, dropping 19 points on 8-0 shooting. But this team needs more than one guy carrying the load. So where's the edge? Arizona can outrun Baylor. 82.3 points a game versus Baylor's 79.3. They rebound better. They shoot 77.2% from the line. Baylor sits at 74.3%. Defensively, Arizona holds teams to 40.2% from the field. Baylor allows 44%. That's not a small gap. That's a team that knows how to disrupt shots versus one that doesn't. And today's AI pick is Baylor moneyline. Why? Because as much as Arizona pushes pace, Baylor can slow things down. Force turnovers, 13.5 per game, and dictate the tempo. If Arizona's shooting woes continue, Baylor won't let them off the hook. And defensively, Arizona gives up nearly 70 points per game, the exact same as Baylor. This is about matchups, and Baylor matches up better. And that wraps up today's AI picks. Let's run it back. Game 1, Florida A&M moneyline at -122. Game 2. Duke -14.5. Game 3. Kansas State moneyline at -128. Game 4. Baylor moneyline. You want to make smarter bets? You want to see the angles before the book does? Hit that like button, subscribe, and stay ahead of the game. Because in this world, you're either one step ahead or left behind. We'll see you next time.